Media and political figures are reacting to the death of Fox News founder and longtime chairman Roger Ailes. He died yesterday of a brain injury from a fall last week at his Florida home. He was 77. Former President George H.W. Bush tweeted, quote, "Not sure I would have been president without his great talent and loyal help." Former Fox News anchor Bill O'Reilly, ousted from the network earlier this year, wrote a tribute in an op-ed. He said Ailes was, quote, "genuine, charismatic, profane, generous, and sincere in his beliefs." I spoke with Roger Ailes on my PBS program in 2001 about the importance of integrity.
I said there are four things that are always you're going to be judged on. Integrity. If you lie, cheat, and steal, people are going to figure it out, and that's going to weigh against you.
Right.
If you take credit for other people's work, it'll be discovered. So it's integrity, it's excellence. I mean, the careers are built by trying to do a better job every day.
Right.
And those people who don't do it, don't do as well.
NPR media correspondent David Folkenflik is here. David, good morning.
Good morning, guys.
So how do we measure the impact that this man had on politics and media?
I don't think there's anybody in the last 2 decades, possibly anybody in the last half century, who's had more influence over that intersection of politics. Yeah, just about. You think of a guy who helped lead Richard Nixon, Ronald Reagan, George H.W. Bush to the White House. You think of a guy who redefined what cable news was, how to think about the definition of news, how to recalibrate this emphasis on opinion rather than reporting, the notion of how you define storylines, identifying an audience in, cultural and political conservatives who felt they didn't have a home or an advocate in the mainstream media. This guy did all of those things.
So the coming together of Rupert Murdoch and Roger Ailes was a perfect.
It was a match. He found the right patron, in a sense, in Rupert Murdoch, a guy who he could say, I got the vision, let's go.
You even say that Donald Trump wouldn't be in the office today without Roger Ailes.
I think if you think about what happened in the past decade, Fox News, NBC to some extent too, in pushing The Apprentice, but Roger Ailes and Fox News offered Donald Trump repeatedly as a credible source to turn to for insights about issues on the public scene in ways that, his business record and his insights wouldn't necessarily warrant. In addition, they gave a platform for him to talk about the offensive and completely ungrounded claims that he made about President Obama's place of birth, saying he was not probably a legitimate president. Utterly untrue, unfounded, but it allowed Trump in a time of Obama to build a base among people who felt alienated from the president.
Do you know if they were still in touch, David?
I think that tapered off, that he was replaced by people like Steve Bannon, Jared Kushner, the president's son-in-law, and others in terms of giving advice.
David, beyond President Trump, how responsible is Roger Ailes for the current political landscape in America?
I think he helped fuel and foster what you saw after '96, the explosion of voices on cable, what we saw with the emergence of the World Wide Web, that he fostered and exploited divisions. For cable to be successful, you need the largest niche audience. You don't do that by trying to be as broadly appealing as possible. You do it by getting a narrow niche.
And what's interesting to see what he said about integrity and all those kinds of things, and then to see what brought him down.
Oh, it's incredible to hear him give a little sermon about integrity, given what we now know.
2001.
What's the future of those lawsuits?
I think that those lawsuits look to be continuing. Let's not forget there's a criminal investigation going on, Southern District of New York. The federal investigators are continuing on. But, I think this is an incredibly important part of his legacy. You can't evaluate Roger Ailes and what he did without knowing that there were decades of women who worked for him who he harassed. Credible, multiple accusations, each mirroring the last, women who have not spoken to each other, talking about the way he used power at Fox News to do this.
What was it he knew about television, though? What did he understand that enabled him to do what he did and be asked to work by George Bush 41, Richard Nixon, and others?
It was a question about messaging. It was a question about identifying storylines, both as a campaigner and as a guy on the air. He said, we know who the heroes are going to be and the villains are going to be. We know who the victims are going to be and who the saviors are going to be. We're going to give a story every day that people can latch onto and hold on to. As a newsman, might not be the most important journalistic story to follow, might in fact ultimately prove shaky or even be based on a conspiracy theory. But if it's something that our listeners, our viewers, can latch onto, that's going to be something that helps people stay with us and know they can turn to us for the kind of news they want.
He definitely changed the game, but you think in the end, will it be a stain on his legacy?
You can't think about Roger Ailes without thinking about this. This is a stain that helps to understand all of the man, complicated and successful as he was.
All right, David Folkenflik, thank you very much for joining us at the table.